My name is Ryan Wickham, and I'm the host of this show, Behind the Scenes with Ryan Wickham. Today's episode is a little bit different than the others were. Today's actually just one subject. It's a whistleblowing episode. What I have to tell you is shocking, it's jaw-dropping, it's controversial, it's ridiculous. But you need to know this. And now, this particular incident I'm about to tell you about took place in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, which, for those of you who might not know, is 4 hours north of Toronto. Now, that having been said, just because it may not have happened in your neighborhood or in your city, that doesn't mean that it couldn't. So it's applicable to you because it adversely affects you wherever you might be in the world. So please, once you're done viewing this video, share this link with everybody you know on Facebook or on Twitter or whatever. Just tell them about it verbally because this could be going on in your own backyard and you need to know it. So here's the story, okay? So we filmed episode 5, the original episode 5, Behind the Scenes with Ryan Wickham. And then at that point, once that was completed, I took a truck to go to the Sudbury Recycling Center. I was going there to collect a bin. Now, a little bit of a backstory here. In conjunction with many other wonderful volunteers from the city of Sudbury, will collect warm clothing and blankets, warm winter clothing and blankets for the less fortunate, the impoverished and homeless people in the city of Sudbury. And then we take those, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, at dinner time at the Elgin Street Mission, we then hand them out to whoever happens to need them, right? Now, here's the thing. I was going to collect this bin because the temperatures here in Sudbury are typically pretty cold in the winter, but this last winter has just been ridiculous. Like, the amounts of snow have been, like, basically, I've almost run out of my entire supply of blankets and warm winter clothing. So for that reason, I contacted a business, Canadian Red Dragon, and they said, sure, yeah, no problem. We'd like to help out. So I said, okay, here's what I need. I want this tattoo studio, to act as like a donation drop-off spot where people can bring these supplies and drop them off so that we can get them downtown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. So they signed off on it, advertised it on their Facebook page. Good to go. Thank you very much. I mean, it makes a huge difference. So now that whole concern about running out of supplies is completely gone out the window. Only problem is that neither one of us had a bin where we could put this stuff. Because you can't just, have them throw it on the counter or whatever. Like, it's got to go in like a sort of like a centralized bin so people can know where to put this stuff. Now, we decided basically that the best idea would be to call the Sudbury Recycling City, or Sudbury Recycling Department, and I actually ended up calling the city instead. And they told me about where I could get a bin at the Sudbury Recycling Center. And they told me about the different sizes and their location and hours of operation. Very helpful. Appreciate it, an awful lot. So I go out to get this bin, and the two female individuals working there, I could be misinterpreting this, but they seemed pretty smug. Like, they were so invested in the fact that they weren't going to give me this bin that they were just overjoyed. Like, nope, can't do it, nope. And I said to them, listen, the city's told me that I could get this bin from here. And they're like, nope. And I said, well, okay, listen. If maybe there's been an issue where people have been abusing the opportunity to have these bins, and so therefore maybe you need to do some homework and find out if I'm really telling the truth, I'm really using it for what I said I'm going to use it for, which is, again, to act as a collection point for these warm clothing and blankets for the homeless and impoverished downtown Sudbury. They didn't care. I offered a business card. Didn't want to look into it. One of those two female employees actually exited the main area. Went behind closed doors, I believe. Anyway, she was out of sight. She claimed to have called the city and said that, sorry, it's against city policy. I said, hold on here. You're telling me it's against city policy to help the homeless. To which they replied, not up to us, bud. Too bad. Sorry, it's so sad. You're not getting a bin. Take off, right? So I went back there again with one of my volunteers. And again, we were told that the greater city of Sudbury has a policy against providing these bins for anything like this other than recycling. That's it. They don't care what your story is. They're not going to look into it. Now, I want to be very clear here, okay? I'm not taking aim at the citizens of this city, okay? There's proof of how wonderful these people can be in this city is the fact that people are donating left, right, and center any clothing or blankets that might be needed to give to the homeless and impoverished people in downtown Sudbury, right? So there's many wonderful people. And I'll bet you that there are many city officials, both elected, councilman, mayor, whatever the case might be, employees of the city who would never signed off on this kind of ridiculous policy and never would have enforced it. And upon stumbling upon it, they would have changed it immediately. At the very least, would have made an exception. I truly do believe that. I don't think I'm living in a city that's run by these devious city councilmen. I don't believe that. I think it's just a few that managed to slip a policy, behind someone's back, and there's only a few that would actually enforce it. It disgusts me. It's deplorable. This is applicable. This story needs to be told, and everybody around the world needs to know about it so that it can change. Because it could be going in your own backyard, whether you're in Vancouver, whether you're in Los Angeles, whether you're in Korea, Europe, wherever. This could be going on in your own backyard, and it affects you. And I'll tell you why it affects everybody. Because you might be thinking to yourself, well, how could it possibly affect me? I'm not homeless. My family isn't homeless. I got a good job. Bills are paid. I got the education. So even if I lose my job, blah, 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 I'm covered. You know what? The streets are filled with homeless people that once had a good job, that have an education, but something went wrong. Something went wrong. Maybe they got sick, they were injured, there was a turn in the economy, and now they're living on the streets. I have multiple volunteers who, or had multiple volunteers who are now homeless. They had good jobs, they had a good career, they had a spouse, they had all the beautiful things that life can bring them. But things happened, life happened, and now they're on the streets. This could be you on the streets tomorrow, not getting a blanket. And if you're in a place where there's cold winter or cold weather during the winters, which many places throughout the world there is, without these blankets, without this warm clothing, these people are going to lose their limbs and they're going to die with hypothermia. Okay, this is a very serious thing here. We're not talking about a fruit basket or something like that. We're talking about life-saving supplies. The members of the Greater Sudbury Recycling Service and of the city who denied me this, denied me this donation of a bin, also denied me of the opportunity to purchase one. I offered them full price, obviously, for what they would be selling them for, and said, I will buy this. Fine. If you don't want to give this away, if you don't want to take this chance and do the right thing, I'll buy it. I don't care. It's only money, and it's going to be helping these people out. It's going to save lives, okay? No. These things can only be used for recycling, they say. I said, fine. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out and buy a can of paint. I'll come back, I'll buy it, I'll buy you the bin, I'll buy the bin from you, and I'll even paint it on site. And it'll cover out any logos that have anything to do with the city. So they won't know that you helped out the homeless, okay? But heaven forbid. So, no, still wouldn't let me do it. This is ridiculous. This is just insane, okay? This needs to change. This cannot be the case any longer. Please, Greater Sudbury, councilmen, employees, Mayor Matichuk, change this. Now that you know about it, I'm going to give you all the benefit of the doubt. I'm betting that none of you knew that this was the case. So please, take the time to change these policies and to make exceptions to rules that are obstructing helping people in need. Thank you very much for taking the time to view today's episode. Please, after viewing this episode, share this story with everybody else. Tell them about it. Share the link on Facebook, on Twitter, via email, whatever. Let the world know, because this could be going on in your own backyard. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Behind the Scenes with Ryan Wickham. For more episodes or to view this video again, perhaps on my website blog, you can check it out at www.ryanwickham.konline.ca. That's www.ryanwickham.konline.ca. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Behind the Scenes with Ryan Wickham.